Appreciate everybody being here. It's an exciting day. It's you go through these processes where you're trying to find a new leader for your program, and you have to identify early on what you're looking for, because you can everybody comes from somewhere. Everybody has a title. Everybody has been somewhere, and it's really easy to get distracted. And our staff, which did a great job. I want to commend Scott Weatherby and Ann Carr for kind of heading up this process for our department. They did a great job of focusing on the traits that we think make successful coaches. And we talk about this pretty consistently because it makes sense. We want coaches who are smart. We want coaches who have a great work ethic. We want coaches who are competitive and have an intensity about them that rubs off on the people around them. And then they got to have those leadership qualities that allow them to take young people and push them and help them be successful. And whether it's presence or charisma, whatever you want to call it, everybody kind of packages it a little bit different. You got to have the ability to lead people. And I don't think there's any question we found a guy who fits those traits and so many others in David McFatrich. David's been a head coach for 4 years. If you step back and really look at the volleyball landscape, and you start to look at some of the leagues, especially in the South, I don't know if another program has dominated their league the last 8 years the way Central Arkansas has in the Southland Conference. And David has been a big part of that as an assistant, and then once he got promoted to the head coaching position, he continued that. They won 73% of his matches, won 84% of his conference matches, two conference titles, 2 conference tournament titles, 2 NCAA appearances. I think they had a 38-match conference win streak in that period as well. And you look at where they were before David became an assistant there and was part of that process with Stephen McRoberts. You see what happened there was pretty remarkable. It wasn't something that was just handed to them. It's something they developed and created. And that's a huge credit to them. And once you spend some time with him, you can see why he was successful there and why he's going to be successful at Mississippi State. Because not only is he smart and he's got a great work ethic and he's competitive and he's got a great presence about him, you understand after you're around him for a little bit, he's pretty aggressive. He's got a high energy level. And then you start asking about the things that are important to him, and you realize how important family and faith and all those building blocks that tend to make successful people are a part of his life, and it's no surprise why he's been successful. So his wife Sonia, their 3 kids aren't with us today, but we're excited to have them here as well. But it is our pleasure today to introduce our new head volleyball coach, David McFatrich. David? Your first cowbell, you can't buy it, it's got to be given to you.
I heard
so I want to hand you your first cowbell and say, welcome to the Bulldog family.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. It's a little bit louder than I thought. How are we doing? Pretty good? What an incredible time in my life. It's just amazing. For me and my family to have this opportunity and to be able to coach with some friends, it's just amazing. We're excited to be here. Big thank you, first of all, to Scott Weatherby, who kind of tracked me down and started talking to me initially. Big thank you to Scott Strickland, Ann Carr, and the rest of the executive staff that I got to meet. It's just been an amazing process. And the last month, I got to tell you, has been a whirlwind. When we first came down here, which was actually last Sunday night, we got on campus. It was about 6 o'clock, and starting to get dark. And I just wanted to kind of get a feel for the place. And I started driving on campus, saw the football stadium, went to the volleyball arena, tried to get in. Doors were locked, shaking the doors, couldn't get in there. But it just had a good feel about it, and nobody was on campus. So I called my assistant coaches at UCF and I said, look, you guys got to come down here. Let's just check this place out together. And so that's what we did. And the next day, everybody I met, every meeting that I went to, every time I turned around, it was good. In fact, it was great. Every person I met with, I think I met 16 people in a 2-day period, interview after interview after interview, and I felt just an incredible amount of momentum from everybody, excitement. I felt a little bit of, hey, let's get this going here. Let's get volleyball going here. And so I was just pleasantly surprised, and I told my wife and kids, and they were with us. And so for 2 days, I was blown away. And I can't tell you how grateful I am to be here. It's just the excitement levels through the roof. We're really fired up and ready to go. So anyway, if anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. I sometimes get caught talking too much, but I've got a couple hours ahead of me, so just let me know what you want to know.
Coach, welcome.
Thank you.
Scott mentioned Coach McRoberts. What does his change in jobs and going to Ole Miss, and what does Coach Allen's change in jobs and now being at Alabama for 3 or 4 years, I forget which? What did their jobs suggest to you that coming from Central Arkansas that you can come to Mississippi State and maybe do what they're beginning to do or already have done at their respective programs?
Well, I don't know Coach Allen. Of course, Coach McRoberts is a friend of mine, and he and I coached together for 4 years and had a blast, had a good time, and had some success too. I don't know that anything that they've done has suggested anything to me. I haven't really thought about that much, but I know that other teams are successful here. And when I got here, I couldn't. In fact, I asked a couple of people. I just really didn't understand. This is a great place to be, man. So I didn't think about what they were doing and how successful they were. I just thought about the potential of this place, and I'm thinking, this is a great place. My family likes it. I got a good feeling about it. You get some kids on campus, and I think they're going to love being here. And so just have to work hard to get the kids to combine their love for Mississippi State and their love for volleyball, wrap that up in one package, and get going.
Talking about how it just felt right. Were there other circumstances in your career where you were, asked to be a player, coach, whatever it may be, and it just didn't? Could you compare this feeling maybe to some other feelings in the past?
Absolutely. When you're fortunate to have some success, and you've got a group of kids around you that are willing to work hard and kind of buy into your philosophy, and really are driven to be great. Combine that with great assistant coaches, other opportunities present themselves. And we had some of those opportunities. And we went through the process with those other schools, and they were all great. They were all fantastic. But, sometimes, I wish I could pinpoint it for you. Sometimes, I got to tell you, it's just a feeling. It's just a feeling in your gut that this is a good place for my family, how people treat you, what you share in common, what the potential is. This place felt better than the other places that we visited. And I really thank God that I didn't get those jobs, to be honest with you. So we visited, we put our hat in the ring, it didn't work out, but this one did, and I couldn't be more grateful.
You mentioned you see a lot of success in some of the other programs on campus. Scott Strickland was sort of talking about the qualities he looks for in a coach. What do you kind of consider that mold to be of coaches and programs at Mississippi State, and maybe where do you fit into that?
Well, I don't know many of the coaches. I met Coach Van, softball coach. I met Coach John, the baseball coach, and I got a chance to visit with them. And I know Coach Cohen is extremely successul. I didn't meet any of the other coaches. The mold, I think, was best described by Scott Strickland. And we have to have, I think me and my coaching staff, we have a little bit different look at the game. We want to do things maybe a little bit differently than everybody else. And, so our mold, that we're hoping that our players emulate and adopt and believe in is that, we're gonna look at this game a little bit differently. We might do things a little bit differently. Some of the basics and the fundamentals have to be the same, but we're looking for players that want to adopt our philosophy, believe in what we're doing, and be ready to be coachable so that they might be trying something that they haven't tried before, they haven't seen before. And so I think our mold and our philosophy and having players that buy into that philosophy is a great combination for success.
Can you just talk a little bit about maybe what the challenges the SEC presents?
Well, the SEC obviously is a great conference. Everybody's battling. Everybody wants to win. Everybody's trying to recruit the best players. It's not going to be easy, but there's no reason we can't get it done here. That's for sure. From a competitive standpoint, we can't. There aren't any off nights. There aren't any off days competition-wise. Travel-wise, I think from what we're accustomed to in the Southland Conference, I think it's going to be a little bit simpler for us, just because of the modes of travel and things like that. But we're going to have to be sharp, and we're going to have to be prepared. Our team's going to have to be prepared every single time we play a conference match, home or away. It wasn't always that way in the Southland, and we're going to have to be better head coaches and realize that this is every match kind of league. Be sharp every match, and so we're looking forward to the challenge.
I know you said you've got some coaches, and I know with the students just get back on campus this week. Have you been able to speak with any of the players coming back, or like Peyton or somebody, and what have those conversations been like, and then what is your schedule going to be like in the near future?
Great questions. First of all, we've already met 3 of the players, and after this press conference, we're going to get together and meet the rest of them. I'm looking forward to doing that. Really, really excited about that. Our schedule started the day we accepted the job, so we started recruiting that day, and we will be we'll leave for Texas and California on Friday. So. We'll be, 2 of us will be in Texas for 3 days, and then I'll be in California for 3 days. And we've already hit the ground running.
The program's resume speaks for itself. I'm sure you know about it. What gives us the confidence or the players the confidence to think that things are going to be a little bit different under your leadership, and how do you anticipate maybe trying to affect the change?
Well, that's a great question. We don't see any reason why Mississippi State can't be as successful as the top half of the conference. We really don't. I mean, there's no reason. We do have rebuilding to do. We've got, and to be quite honest with you, it's not just rebuilding. I think to be quite candid, some of it is just plain building. And so we're in this, me and my staff, we're in it for the long haul. We're grinders, we're aggressive, we want to go for it, we want to get people on campus, we want to build into their lives off the court and work them hard on the court and drive them to be great. So we think the ingredients are here. I think it's just kind of how you mix it up. And so systems of play, philosophy. Hey, we care about you as a kid. We want to be in your life the rest of your life. I get 4 or 5 years to build in your life, and the 4 or 5 years you're with me is important, but not as important as the next 40 or 50. And I want you to know that's how I am with you as a player. Now let's get it done on the court, knowing that I got your back for the rest of your life. That's pretty much our philosophy.
All right, guys, any more questions?